My name is Lauren, I'm 24, and what I'm about to share still makes my blood boil because no matter how things unfolded, everyone treats me like I'm the villain. But all I ever did was tell the truth about what I wanted. Before we dive into this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into it. It all started 2 years ago when I was dating Eric. He was 26, worked in IT, spent his days fixing people's tech issues and debugging code. He was a kind guy, predictable to a fault. And that's where everything started to unravel. Every Friday night looked exactly the same. He'd swing by with some cheap takeout. We'd watch a dull documentary on Netflix and be in bed by 10, like retirees. He said he needed to maintain his sleep schedule. Romantic, right? Eric's relationship with money was what really started to get to me. He wasn't broke, not at all, but he lived like he was. He'd clip coupons, drive 30 minutes out of the way to save $1 on gas, and he drove this beat-up old Honda with a jammed passenger door. I was honestly embarrassed to be seen in it. But if I brought it up, he'd go on about how it was reliable and paid off. And don't get me started on how he dressed like a clearance rack threw up on him. Same 3 outfits, all faded, all from discount stores. I'd suggest going shopping together, but he'd shrug and say, "These work just fine." Meanwhile, I was working part-time at a luxury fitness center downtown. Every day, I was surrounded by polished professional suits, Rolexes, ambition, and I'd go home to Eric in his baggy khakis and coffee-stained t-shirts. I felt like I was living in 2 different worlds. In public, Eric just faded into the background. He wasn't mean, just absent. At dinners with my friends, he barely spoke. My friend Kara's boyfriend surprised her with a weekend in Miami for her birthday. Eric, he made me pasta and wrote me a heartfelt card. Sweet, sure, but I couldn't help feeling disappointed. What stung even more was that he never made me feel special. I worked hard to stay fit, dress well, and take care of myself, but Eric never complimented me unless I flat out asked for it. He never posted photos of us, never bragged about me, never made me feel seen. Financially, things were just as lopsided. We split everything 50-50 as even, though I made way less than him. He'd always suggest the cheapest restaurant and roll his eyes if I wanted something a little nicer. Once, at his favorite Greasy Spoon diner, I watched him calculate the tip down to exactly 15%, not 16, not 18, exactly 15%, because some finance articles said that was standard. That night, I looked at the guy at the next table. He left a $20 tip on a $1.12 meal without blinking, and it hit me. I was dating someone who thought small, who lived small. Eric never dreamed big. He'd talk about maybe upgrading his apartment or taking a trip someday, but it was all so safe, vague, dull. I wanted more. I deserved more. That's when I started to notice Logan. He was a member at the gym. At first, he came in with someone else, but I couldn't help but notice the way he carried himself: confident, polished, self-assured, designer watch, crisp haircut, and the kind of energy that turned heads when he entered a room. When he asked about my job and actually listened to my answers, it felt new. He remembered details, made me laugh, complimented my dress. Logan started staying a few minutes after his workouts just to talk. Nothing flirtatious at first, just warm, easy conversation. Eventually, he asked for my number so he could text if he was running late for a session. The texts became memes, good morning messages, questions about my day. Eric never texted unless it was something practical. What do you want for dinner? Or don't forget to pay the electric bill. But Logan made me feel like someone was thinking about me. When Logan suggested grabbing coffee, I almost said no. But Eric had just forgotten our anniversary the week before, and when I tried to talk to him about it, he barely looked up from his computer game. So I said yes. Just coffee, I told myself. But that coffee date changed everything. Logan took me to this cute downtown cafe I'd always wanted to try, but Eric had called a waste of money. Logan didn't even glance at the prices. He tipped the barista generously and asked about my goals, like, really asked. He made me feel interesting, important, alive. Those coffee dates became a regular thing weekly, then twice a week. I lied to Eric, told him I was working late or catching up with girlfriends. And while nothing physical happened with Logan, we both knew we were crossing a line. There was chemistry, and it was growing fast. Eventually, the emotional distance between Eric and me became unbearable. One Sunday, while he spent the whole weekend obsessing over fixing his broken laptop, Logan texted asking if I wanted to go to an art exhibit. I snapped. That night, I picked a fight. I told Eric we wanted different things, that he never prioritized me, that I felt like I was fading away in our relationship. The breakup came 2 weeks later, when Eric asked directly, "Is there someone else?" Technically, I lied. I said no. Physically, I wasn't cheating. Emotionally, I was miles away. A month later, Logan and I were officially a couple. Suddenly, I was living the life I'd envied: fancy dinners, weekend trips, shopping sprees. I felt like I'd won. I traded up. Then, 3 months in, I missed my period. I didn't panic at first, but 2 weeks late, I took a test, 2 pink lines. I wasn't scared, I was excited. Logan had mentioned wanting kids someday, and I figured this was the universe giving us a push. I made him dinner, dressed up, lit candles. I was ready for surprise, joy, even if a little shock came first. But when I told him, his first words were, "Are you sure?" Not congratulations, not a smile. He made it clear, he wasn't ready, he didn't want kids, and he didn't want me to keep it. "There are options," he said, like he was talking about dinner plans. Then his mother called me. Vivian chillingly, polished, invited me to lunch. She handed me a check for $5,000 and the business card of a clinic. "This should cover the expenses," she said, "plus something for your time." I was stunned. "You want to pay me to get rid of your grandchild?" "I want you to make a smart decision," she said. "You work at a gym. My son has options." When I told Logan I was keeping the baby, everything changed. The dinners stopped, the affection disappeared. I'd ask about weekend plans, and he'd say he was busy, only to post photos out with friends later that night. The criticism started. My job was embarrassing. My clothes weren't classy enough. My friends were trashy. My family was too involved. By 4 months pregnant, the emotional abuse had hit full force. At a work event, someone asked when we were getting married. Logan laughed and said, "Oh, we're not there yet. This was unplanned." In the car, I lost it. "How could you embarrass me like that? I told you I didn't want this," he said. "I never asked you to keep it. That was your decision. Don't expect me to rearrange my life for a baby I didn't want." "I didn't want you," he added. And just like that, I was alone. 5 months pregnant, broke, working 3 part-time jobs to stay afloat. Logan pays court-ordered child support and not a penny more. He's never met our daughter, Lily. And then ... there was Eric. I started looking at his social media, expecting to see heartbreak. But no, he looked ... good, better than ever. There was a new woman, Sarah. She was natural, sweet-looking, the kind of person who'd listen to Eric's stories and genuinely care. I reached out, told myself it was just to apologize. But really, I was hoping he'd save me, that he'd see I was sorry, that he still cared. He didn't. "Apology accepted," he said. "I've moved on. I think you should too." I showed up at his new place. He'd moved into a small house, nicely decorated. There were photos on the walls of him hiking, laughing, living. I was standing there, very visibly pregnant, and he just looked ... blank. I broke down, told him everything, and he just listened quietly. "That sounds hard," he said. "But what are you expecting from me, Lauren?" He went on. "You left me. You told me I wasn't good enough. Now that it didn't work out, you want me to raise someone else's child. You didn't want me when you had me, and now I don't want to be your backup plan." He asked me to leave, politely, firmly. 2 years later, I'm in a tiny apartment, scrolling through Facebook on a phone with a cracked screen, while Lily cries in the next room. Logan's gone. My parents help when they can, but it's not enough. Eric, he's married to Sarah. She's a therapist. They just announced they're having a baby. He looks happier than I ever saw him with me. Sometimes I wonder what could have been if I'd appreciated what I had when I had it. But I didn't. I traded stability for excitement, and lost everything in the process. And the worst part, if I had the chance again, I'm not even sure I'd choose differently. And that might be the most pathetic part of all.